Hey, look, 3 times in a row on time. That's almost like we're back to normal, right? Cheers. And welcome back to yet another version of Weekly Navel Gazing that is on time, by which I mean Monday, which is obviously when I talk about all the books I read last week, all the videos I didn't make last week, all the books I plan to read this week, all the videos I plan to make this week, and yeah, then it all descends into madness as it usually does. So, with all of that said, let's just start and talk about, the books I read last week, because I did, in fact, actually read books, which I guess is good, right? So, what did I read? Well, I did reread a lot of stuff. I did reread The Yiddish Policeman's Union by Michael Chabon, which is a wonderful book, and it's obviously alternate history. And I did reread Unholy Land by Lavi Tidar, which is also, you know, an alternate kind of history kind of book. And it's really good, and you should go and read it because it's still very relevant. And I did, of course, reread The Man in the High Castle by Philip K. Dick, which is another book that is, alternate history sort of, and it's also pretty good. And that's where all the fun ended because then I did, in fact, decide to read, well, reread again Angels and Demons by Dan Brown. And that one sucks. It's really, 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 really bad. But I finished it. I'm glad I did. It's, the ongoing thing. And then I started rereading The Da Vinci Code, which also sucks. And of course, I did read another book, and that was by Christopher Douglas, and it was called If God Meant to Interfere, American Literature and the Rise of the Christian Right. And I finished that one as well. That one I think is a very good book. I may even use it in a positive way because it talks about other books that are really good, like The Plot Against America by Philip Roth, which I read last week, well, the week before. And it talks about, well, The Crying of Love 49 by Thomas Pynchon, which is another really good book that I happen to have read before and I really appreciate. And it talks about Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy, which is another book that I kind of like. So it's really interesting. And it talks about Dan Brown's Da Vinci Code, which is a book that I don't like. But it's still a relevant book for, current projects. So that's my reading of last week. And I also started reading Richard Hofstadter's Anti-Intellectualism in American Life, which is an older book. It's from the 60s, but it's still very valuable for my current project as well. So I'm reading that one too. Which brings me to the question, what will I read this week? Well, on the fun side of things, I will continue to read the Richard Hofstadter book. On the not so fun side of things, I will finish the Da Vinci Code, and then I will read Lost Symbol, which I suspect will also suck because, Dan Brown sucks. And then I'll hopefully find something good and fun to read. Possibly I will have to start my reread of Foucault's Pendulum by Umberto Eco, which is very much a fun book to read, at least for me. So that's going to happen. And then we'll see where things move from there. So let's talk about the videos I didn't make. Yeah, that's all of them because I didn't make any videos last week. I got sidetracked. I was just like very, very tired in the evenings and didn't want to get, stuff organized. So unfortunately, I didn't make any new videos, which was really stupid because, the video before that got really popular about the supposed death of epic fantasy, and probably my best video, like best performing video in years, which says a lot about booktube, I guess. But it is what it is, and once again, thanks everyone for watching, for commenting. I really appreciated it. The fact that I only one comment was really, really stupid also helps. Sometimes it's nice to see that at least the people watching me have, ideas and are willing to have a civil conversation. I really appreciate that. Whenever it happens. So that's that. So yeah, I didn't do any videos. On Friday, I went to another festival, so I was away for the weekend, which does not help with creating videos. However, this will change this week because I will do two videos at least. These two videos will be about use of weapons and about the state of the art, which probably means me having to reread the state of the art once more, just to, keep my brains organized. We'll see how that goes. But those two for the ongoing cultural reading will definitely happen this week. I already have the thumbnails for them, so that's all settled. I have no excuses whatsoever. And then on Saturday, the 22nd of June, which is right around St. John's and summer solstice and all these other good and fun things that we all do. Like, I don't know, light some fires, jump over some fires, that kind of stuff. We'll have us a bit of a live stream, our monthly live stream. Yes, it's back in and around near-ish the end of the month. And this time around, I'll have a guest. Who will it be? Well, I guess you'll have to wait until I manage to put up the the live stream in the next day or two once the thumbnail for that one is done. But we'll have a guest. It will be fun. We'll talk about really cool things. I'm excited about it. I hope so are you. In case, you need something to distract you from this weird football thing that is currently ruining this country. Um, yeah, why not hang out with someone really interesting and me and have us a couple of drinks and a conversation about whatever comes our way. I'm really looking forward to it because, as I've said before, I really, really enjoy these live streams. They're always a lot of fun to me, and having another person there, having an interesting guest, is added bonus as far as I'm concerned. So that's going to be really cool. And that's the plans for this week. If I'm really, really, really motivated, I will start making videos about all those alternate history books that I recently read for reasons. Um, and we'll see how that goes. If I plan to do that, it will be basically next week will be alternate history week, and we'll do like one per day, one per book, and maybe a wrap up on like, what have we learned from all these alternate histories. And that will bring us to the end of June, which is also my birthday, on, I don't know, the Saturday after this Saturday, I guess, next Saturday. I think that's my birthday. And after that, who knows if I'm still alive, and who knows what happens when I reach that incredible decrepit age of whatever it will be. So there's that. Yeah, and I think like that's as far as I can plan right now. I've I mean I've been I'm happy I managed to come back to making videos with that weird setup that I'm currently using. I'm hoping that what with my birthday and other stuff like money that I've saved up by now, it will be possible to maybe get an actual working camera, like a proper camera again, so I can record in like a higher resolution, possibly, hopefully, without all the weird frame freezing and all that crap. Because all that reading about Dan Brown and other books that I've been doing recently will obviously lead to what I think will be a very interesting video, possibly even one that is a bit longer. I really hope it won't be another like 4 hour monstrosity, but I think I have like a rather compelling argument to make. Um, and if I manage to have like an actual like filming equipment again, that would be really cool because I want to try out some new things, right? I want to do some more interesting things with that video. Maybe have some more fancy editing, maybe shoot part of it outside because, it's nice weather when when it's not, raining and storming as it has been in Germany for like the last couple of weeks, quite a bit. If all of that happens, I can film some bits outside, and that would be really cool. And maybe have some other new tricks and ideas to make a booktube video or a video about books on YouTube that goes beyond just me sitting in front of a camera, drinking beer, and yelling at you, which, will still be in there because it's the only thing I'm good at. But I'm always thinking about like what we can do or what I can do to make booktube videos more interesting, and that's one of the things that I'm looking at. I have some ideas, and it would be really cool to do that in, style, in proper resolution, maybe with, good audio, all of that stuff. Maybe, you know, have like an argument that is a bit closer to what I would consider like almost a video essay, although obviously since I can't read out scripts, it will still be me improvising quite a bit. But maybe there's new things on the horizon because it's one of those things that I want to do, and I've said this before that I'm always trying to, improve what I'm doing here, having these more like elaborate arguments about one specific subgenre, one specific bit, or whatever I want to call it, like making a specific argument and using different books, different class of fiction each, using all of these elements to then explain, making a larger point about how fiction impacts the way we think, the way we argue, the way we view the world. I think is one of those things that I want to do more of because uh, I like books, right? I like fiction in all kinds of forms, like fantasy, science fiction, literary genre, literary fiction. I'm not the biggest crime guy, but I like reading books, and I think we do ourselves a bit of a disservice if we just class them as like entertainment and shrug them off, because I think books in general have a lot of power over our imagination about how we see the world. They can change us as humans, and they can change the world. And that means they deserve to be taken seriously, to be looked at seriously. And I'd rather do that with, genre fiction just as much as literary fiction, which is why we'll talk about the Illuminatus trilogy and Dan Brown novels and Foucault's Pendulum, which are all very different genres or subgenres of books, but all deal with a similar thing. And maybe I can tell you a bit of a story about that. Wouldn't that be cool, right? So that's sort of what I'm trying to figure out, how to do this, how to make it more engaging without, having like a huge ass budget or of any sort, or without, having good editing skills, which I obviously have not. But also I'm obviously not able to pay someone to help me edit videos because I'm broke as fuck. So we'll see what is possible in that arena, because yeah, I think we all, profit from or benefit from, booktubers trying different things. I know there's a lot of people out there who do like, reading vlogs and stuff like that. And I've just never been good at the whole like reading vlog thing, I think. Maybe maybe I can add something else. And that's certainly something that I've been thinking about a lot recently. There's other stuff that I'm going to figure out in the next couple of weeks, what else to do. But that's sort of like the thing that drives me at the moment. And I like the fact that I am motivated to do it because, it's very easy for me to lose interest in something, and having that interest at the moment, having that high of like being engaged, both the rage against Dan Brown, like other stuff on the one hand, but also just like the enthusiasm to try something new is always something that I really really enjoy having, because I don't always have that, and we all deserve something nice from time to time, I think. So that's kind of where I'm standing with that. What else will happen in the next couple of weeks? I don't know. Um, as I like doing the alternate history thing with all these books that I've been recently reading, culminating with Cahokia Jazz by Francis Bufford, which I really, really loved. But I want to, frame in like or situate in the larger like space of alternate history books in a way, and maybe I'll be able to make a bit of an larger argument about alternate history in fantasy and science fiction in while doing that. Maybe we will see. It's just something that I'd like to try to because it's interesting me right now, and maybe if I'm interested in it, some of you will be interested in it as well, and maybe we can all learn something together. And learning together, I think, is always a good thing, right? So that's kind of what I'm trying to do these days. I don't have much more to say. I'm still rather tired from like the last festival. I'm trying to conserve my energy because, that's helpful, right? So we will see. We'll see how that goes, and I'll try to get my shit together. Question is like, how have you been? What's going on with you guys? What have you been watching? What have you been reading? What have you been doing? Let me know in the comments. And I hope to see you with both the two culture videos, and of course to hang out with you on Saturday with my very special guest, and we'll have us a bit of conversation about whatever comes up, really. Yeah, thanks for sticking with me. Sorry for not being productive last week. I hope to do better this week, and I can't wait, for Saturday. And until then, thanks and cheers.